Hey guys, this is Ryan with Mama on Mission, and today I'm joining in another collaboration with Ingrid over at the Ingrid Chronicles, and this is the Do's and Don'ts of Homeschool collaboration. And make sure you check out her channel down below and check out the playlist as always to see what other do's and don'ts I may have missed. And I know I've been doing a lot of collaborations lately, but I feel like it really helps to get a lot of brains together and to make one playlist of all moms talking about the same thing, so that if it is something that hits home with a viewer, then they can scroll through and see lots and lots of ideas. And you know, maybe while we're all cooped up inside, give them lots of things to do and watch. So I thought I would start with my don'ts of homeschool. And my do's kind of correspond to those, as you will see, but let's get started. So don't, once you have decided to homeschool, let the naysayers distract or discourage you. You may be like me and not have anyone flat out say, that's a terrible idea, you shouldn't do that, or I don't know why you would ever do that, or aren't your kids going to be X, Y, Z if you homeschool? I did not have much of that. I had quite a bit of just people not knowing, not understanding. It was a very foreign concept to a lot of the people that I was around when I first made this decision. And so people had a lot of questions, and just remember that questions aren't always a bad thing. People are just curious and want to know, so just answer them as much as you want to, but make sure you do it graciously. But if you do happen to come across those, which the worst I ever got was just people like, well, what are you going to do about socialization? What are you going to do about high school? What are you going to, you know, like questions that borderlined on questioning more than just what I was going to do and questioning more of my judgment. But some people are flat out rude and just will tell you what they think about homeschooling. So if you do encounter that, or any negativity at all, I would just encourage you to handle it with grace, like I said, but just keep doing what you know you're called to do, and don't let that negativity bother you. I'm not one to say like, only surround yourself with people who support you, and you know, like that's not real life, and that's not what Jesus has called us to do. However, take everything that the critics would say with a grain of salt. Don't number 2, do not buy all the things. I know it's tempting, especially if you have the budget for it. You see something that looks great online that would help you homeschool, and you just add it to your cart, and then you just add something else, and then you hit the target dollar spot and you see 10 things there that you think would be great for homeschooling. Stop buying all the things. Don't do it. I did it, and I didn't quite have the budget for it, so I didn't go as crazy as I might have when I first started, but I know the temptation. Even now it's tempting, but there's only so many hours in a day, and there's only so many of those hours in a day that you want to dedicate to homeschooling. So there's not going to be time for all the flashy fun things that you see. You're going to have to be picky. And so don't waste your money just buying everything that looks good. Just don't do it. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of resources. It's a waste of money. So number 3, don't forget what's important. So remember your why. Always remember your why, and you'll hear most homeschool moms say something like that at some point. But also remember what is important to you. For me and a lot of homeschoolers, I know that God is most important, and so keep that most important. Don't forget that your child, not just their education, but your child himself or herself is of very high importance. Don't forget that their character is important. Don't forget that your family as a unit, your family culture is important. Academics, yes, are important, and socializing is important. I hate that word, but you know what I mean. You know, relationships. But don't forget what is most important, and make sure those things that are most important, the why you homeschool, your faith, your family, your child, their character, your character, those things If they're important to you, make sure you're making them priority and not letting academics and social gatherings and all the busyness of life get in the way of that. And my fourth don't of homeschool is don't marry yourself to one style, one curriculum, one schedule. Now, I am very much the person, like, if I commit to something, I'm going to see it through. Like, I don't commit to everything all the time, but if I do commit, I'm going to stick it out. But with homeschool, you can't always do that. And you may go into this thinking, okay, I read all the stuff, I know all the things, I'm going to be a Charlotte Mason or an unschooler or this or that. And I'm going to use this curriculum to get it done, and we're going to have this schedule. We're going to do, this at 8 o'clock and this at 9 o'clock. Or you might even be the opposite and say, we're going to be an unschooler. We're just going to learn from our environment. We're going to, let the day take us where it may. Don't marry yourself to either of those or to anything in between. Get a good idea of what you want to do, but then be ready to have your world rocked, because you never know what's going to work for you, what's going to work for your child, and what's going to work for your family unit. What kind of schedule is going to work. And maybe it's a big event, maybe there's job changes or moves or whatever that might flip that all upside down. Or maybe you just go in with great intentions of doing things a certain way and it just is not working. You have to be flexible. I'm not encouraging you to just drop everything the moment that it seems like it's not working. I'm not saying don't give certain curriculum and certain styles a good college try, but just don't marry yourself to one thing and then kill yourself trying to make it work. Sometimes things just don't work and you got to try something else. And my fifth and final don't of homeschool is don't give up. And that can apply to so many things in homeschool. It could be a kid who has been stuck on this same math lesson all week long and they should have done it, however long ago. Don't give up with that child. It might be frustrating. You might be colliding on something else. You might be, just feeling like it's not working, whatever it may be. And you might just feel tired. There's just a bunch of things that make homeschooling hard. But good things are hard and good things are worth working for. But don't stop trying. It doesn't matter if you have to change things around. It doesn't matter if you have to take a break. It doesn't matter what it takes. And sometimes it just takes some grit and some prayer and some determination to get through. But whatever it takes, don't give up. If this is something you know you are called to do, God will see you through. Not to say there won't be bumps in the road along the way, but don't give up. It's worth it. So those are my 5 don'ts of homeschool. So let's get to the positive. What do we do in homeschool? So instead of letting the naysayers distract or discourage us, we will seek counsel, we will pray, we will be encouraged by our tribe. So that means you have to find a tribe. And this may not be easy. You may not know a single homeschooler, and that's okay. But what I mean by a tribe isn't necessarily a bunch of other homeschoolers, which that's nice to have, and I'm glad I do have that. But just find some people who would encourage you to follow God's plan for your life, even if it doesn't look like theirs. Get on your knees before the Lord and just seek His counsel, and put your faith and your hope in those people and not the people who are just negative Nancy's all the time and don't like what you're doing, so they're gonna try to bring you down. Just stay grounded in the Lord and surround yourself with a tribe who will help you, whether they homeschool or not, help you achieve what God has set out for you to do. Number 2, instead of buying all the things, we are going to research. We like to do our research around here. Sometimes you can even research a curriculum to death and then you get it home and you hate it. That's happened. But research does help you not to buy things that you don't need. And we're going to be picky with our purchases and not let the flashiness or let all the, whatever the current cool thing is. Just in the 4 years that I've been homeschooling, well, longer than that, but 4 formal years of homeschool, there have been so many just like what's popular and what's, and I'm not saying popular things are bad. There's been some new things that are really cool and they might be great. But don't just get so distracted by whatever's new and flashy. So be picky with what you buy, research it, and if you can, buy used. Like, save your money. Like, there's no need to like buy new things all the time. Number 3, what we will do, and I already kind of hit on this, is keep our priorities straight and keep academics in their place. They are of a high priority. They are not of the utmost priority. So keep your priorities straight. Day to day, hour to hour, when you really just find yourself wanting to bang your head against a wall, think what is important right now and cling to that. Number 4 in our do list of homeschool, do be diligent, but be willing to tweak what doesn't work. So work hard and try to make things work, but if it's simply not working, you can tweak things and make it work for you. And number 5, instead of giving up, what we will do is we're going to keep going. We're going to stay consistent. We're going to keep teaching our kids. We're going to keep loving our kids. We're going to keep loving the Lord and serving our families. And we're just going to keep doing the next right thing and trust that God will do the rest. So I hope you enjoyed these do's and don'ts of homeschool. Check out the playlist down below to see what other moms said were their do's and don'ts of homeschool. And I will talk to you next time. Bye.